Hello everybody, this is Nora, and on this video you are going to see me play with these French wrap tips. They give you an instant French manicure, and if you're familiar with these at all, they do not add any length to your nails. Okay, they do not add any extension. It's a very thin tip that gets applied to right to the tip of your nail, but not adding any extension, if that makes sense. There's nothing new about these, and I've had them, I want to say, probably at least 2 years. I originally purchased them to use them with my daughter, with her nails. She usually wears short tips, and I've never used them on myself. So now that I'm back to these nubbies, I like to play with them, see how they go, how long they last. I do plan to do art over them, and the application on these, they just simply go with nail glue, okay? And I realize you might think, okay, well, isn't that going to inflict more damage to your nails? Well, the tips go right on the tips, which these tips are having to, as the healthy nail is growing out, and you can probably see here on my index, it makes it a little obvious to see the new growth. Obviously these will be going, right? So these are not going to get any healthy. These are have to grow out, and I'll continue to have to cut them or clip them down and file them. So these come in different sizes. You find the size that best matches your nails. So what you do, see these, let me show you upside down how these are applied. I'm not sure, I just picked up the size here, and it's probably going to be too big. But basically you just apply them right to the tip of your nail. Hopefully you can see the tip there, but they do not add any length. All they do is just create a nice, perfect shaped French tip. Okay, so you're going to see me play with those, and what I intend to do is wear them for, I don't know, a few days and see how they go. I will do art on top of them. As far as removal, you just soak these with acetone for maybe 5 minutes or so, and they completely dissolved. I think that the removal is even easier than gel polish, okay? So I really don't expect for it to do any damage on my nails. I got it upside down. See the numbers, so you can see how they are labeled. They come from 0, from 0. You go 0, 1, 2, 3. All the way to 13 is the smallest size, but unfortunately even 13 is too big for my tiny pinky. So I'm going to try to do my best after application to file off the sides after I already have it glued to my nail. That for me will be first time to try. So let's have fun with that. So there you saw me do the application on my right hand, because it did take me a little bit of practice doing my left hand. It's been, I think I only worked with these once before, again, like I mentioned before, with my daughter, so I didn't quite remember how I was working with them. But I do have a couple of tips for you on application. The shorter your nails are, the better, because if you do have any kind of tip, as you notice, my tips were pretty squared, and these do tend to have somewhat of a curve. So I went ahead and lifted them up past my tips, I mean not much, like a hair maybe, to get them to cover my my corners. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing is, and the less glue the better too. You don't want to float it with glue, and I will tell you why. So you don't want, when you apply the glue, as I was doing it, so you will want to you don't want to have any glue over here, okay, because this is going to touch your nail bed. So what I started doing was holding this kind of like upside down and then apply the glue this way, and this is where you apply the glue, just on the white part, okay. And so that way, if by any reason my brush had way too much glue than I needed, it will just float down, this will be away from your tip rather than on your nail bed, okay. That way when you apply it, your goal is not to have any glue over here, but if anything, then if it comes out towards the outside, then that's better. Now if you do get glue on your nail bed, because I did sometimes, clean that up with acetone, but do not touch the white tip. These tips, they do dissolve with acetone. I'm working with 100% acetone. They do dissolve, and I made a couple of mistakes. You dissolve them. I mean, I wiped them off with acetone just like nail polish, okay. It's probably easier to remove these with acetone than it is to remove any glitter polish. So that's how easy it is for them to come off. Now I'm going to go ahead and over this, I'm going to go ahead and apply my regular bases to continue my regular nail care. Guys, so here are my nails. This is after all the cleanup and applying top coat. Again, this is all regular polish, and I'll have to say, so you saw how I went about applying the natural color polish here on the base of my nail, and you might have come up with a better strategy for doing that. It wasn't until I was already into it that I thought, oh, maybe I could have applied latex onto the tips and then peel it off, or done it before. I was thinking of better ways to have it done, haven't had it done. But then also my latex is white, so I don't know how that would have worked. But anyway, I did manage to get them very nicely done, very natural looking. I think if I would have had a better formula polish would have worked a little better for me, but this is the color that I wanted. It was the only one that I had like that. So I hope you guys like this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and thank you for watching.